And it looked like the Cleveland Browns locker room is ready to turn on Kevin Stefanski a day before tomorrow's matchup. Hey, coach, man, the biggest fear I feel like is your team turning on you in locker room drama. Well, I'm here to tell you, insiders and people that is close to the Cleveland Browns football team is letting it be known that is exactly the case that is boiling and brewing in the Cleveland Browns locker room.
Real ugly in Cleveland, man. Now there's been an article released about Kevin Stefanski losing the locker room and the veteran players eventually turning their back on the head coach.
Breaking chaos straight out of Cleveland. And no, this ain't another sad rerun from the Factory of Misery. This one's piping hot. Word spreading fast that the Browns locker room is boiling like a pot of chili left on high heat, all because Coach Stefanski might be keeping a wild secret about Shedeur Sanders. The whispers say players are losing it, side-eyeing the coach like he just fumbled a winning ticket. Why? Because Shedeur ain't playing. And that silence on the field has turned the locker room into pure reality TV madness. Cleveland's got itself a full-blown locker room meltdown, and Coach Kevin Stefanski, he's the man in the middle of the storm. Players are reportedly snapping behind the scenes, and it's not about weak defense or some overhyped playbook call. Nope. This isn't even Deshaun Watson's roller coaster season stealing the spotlight this time. The newest headline stealer is none other than the golden name on everyone's lips, Shedeur Sanders. Crazy part? The dude hasn't even touched the turf yet. No snaps, no hits, no highlight reels, and somehow he's already turned the Browns facility into a reality show audition. That's the level of wild energy only Cleveland could pull off. It takes a special kind of franchise to start a full-blown controversy over a player who's basically still stretching on the sidelines. But hey, that's Cleveland for you. If there's ever a quiet day, they'll manufacture chaos just to keep tradition alive. It's like the city's under contract to deliver one football soap opera every single fall. While other teams argue over blown coverages or missed tackles, the Browns, they're throwing shade and drama over a rookie who hasn't even laced up for a real game yet. What a scene.
And we got a lot to unpack. Man, I'm here to tell you, man, the rumor mill is starting to swirl, man. We getting some new information out of Cleveland that the Cleveland Browns veteran players are about to turn their back on Kevin Stefanski. And is he losing control over the locker room? Now, we've seen this whole quarterback situation play out through the draft.
You know your franchise is truly cursed when the drama's coming from the guy who hasn't even stepped on the field yet. It's like arguing over a birthday cake that ain't even baked. And when it finally is, somebody forgot the frosting. That's Cleveland energy right there. The whispers haven't stopped all week. Insiders say tension's boiling up inside that locker room. Some players are quietly wondering if Coach Stefanski has lost his grip, his nerve, or maybe both. And get this, it's not because the offense fell apart or the defense got torched on Sunday. Nope, it's all because Shedeur Sanders is still standing on the sidelines, holding that clipboard like it's a trophy. That's the crime. The so-called scandal lighting up the Browns group chats. It's not about film, playbooks, or coaching schemes anymore. It's about frustration. Players are done waiting for potential. They want fireworks now. See, patience has started to look like pride.
Is that the veteran players and a lot of these guys in the locker room want Shedeur Sanders to play. They want Shedeur Sanders not only to play, but to start. They do not want Joe Flacco in there. They do not want Dylan Gabriel above Shedeur. These are players that is on the Cleveland Browns team. Because you want to know why? Because if Shedeur play and Shedeur starts, everybody wins. Everybody make more money because now the interest in the team is hotter than every team in the NFL. Ticket sales go up, merchandise sales go up. Just anything with the Cleveland Browns is going to go up if they make this.
And pride has turned into pure fuel for frustration. One rookie with swagger walks in, moving like destiny's already signed his contract, and suddenly the locker room's heartbeat changes. Veterans who've been grinding for years start whispering, maybe he's the one, maybe he's the spark we've been missing. And just like that, boom, you've got division, suspicion, and a full-blown storyline brewing before kickoff. You'd think Cleveland would crave stability after all these years of heartbreak, right? But nah, stability doesn't trend. Drama does. Drama keeps the fans glued to their phones, the reporters circling like vultures, and the players feeding off the tension. And now Shedeur Sanders isn't just the rookie in the room, he's the lightning bolt striking through it. Because in Cleveland, hope isn't quiet. It's loud, messy, and wrapped in chaos. And Shedeur doesn't just represent a player anymore. He represents possibility, the dream this city keeps chasing even when it breaks their hearts every season. He's already been crowned the future. And just like that, logic gets tossed into the same locker as yesterday's sweaty towels. Rational thought? Please, that doesn't trend online. But a quarterback controversy, oh, that gets clicks, arguments, and chaos. And that's exactly what Coach Stefanski's swimming in right now. A storm that started before Shedeur Sanders even took a single pro snap.
Address this sort of persistent narrative that that you're trying to sabotage Shedeur Sanders, especially after yesterday and not putting him in for the 2-minute.
Yeah, obviously, I don't concern myself with outside type of things, but I'm committed to his development, just like all of our rookies. So we'll continue to focus on getting our guys better, and that's what we'll stay committed to.
It doesn't matter that Shedeur hasn't faced an NFL defense yet. It doesn't matter that patience might actually set him up for long-term success. The truth is, nobody cares about the plan when excitement is this loud. Perception has turned into gospel, and that gospel's got the whole franchise gasping under the pressure. The Browns are pros at drama. They've been rehearsing heartbreak for decades, but this new storyline, it hits different because Shedeur's presence didn't just shake the locker room, it rewired it. The kid's aura is outshining experience, and suddenly, Stefanski's control over the team looks weaker than a broken headset on game day. And really, should anyone be surprised? NFL locker rooms are powder kegs waiting for a spark. You've got grown men practically living together. Meetings, film study, gym sessions, cafeteria gossip, until one moment of tension lights the whole place up.
Shedeur Sanders ended the game. The offensive coordinator must have went to sleep or something. Straight up like that. I don't know what happened, what was going on. Or the receiver coach took over the play calls for the first time in his career. Things changed for the offense when Shedeur Sanders came into that game. All of a sudden, when Shedeur enters the game, the Browns are a pass-first team, run second. I sure didn't like the sequence of play calling when Shedeur Sanders entered the game. Pass first, run second. That is never the Cleveland Browns model. And to me, that play calling was done.
Meanwhile, there's Shedeur Sanders, calm as ever, chilling on the bench while fans are outside foaming at the mouth to see him throw his first NFL pass. It's kind of hilarious when you think about it. The same veterans who claim they don't care about online noise are now glued to their phones like teenagers on TikTok. They're scrolling through Instagram Reels and YouTube highlights, watching Shedeur torch college defenses in slow motion. Every clip shows him dropping 40-yard lasers, flexing on cornerbacks, flashing that wristwatch celebration that made him go viral. And once those edits start bouncing around the locker room, something changes. Whispers start growing, curiosity spreads, and the tension thickens like smoke in a bar. Now, half the team's thinking the same thing.
Letting it be known, Shedeur ain't sniffing that first team. We should have known that was the way they was gonna keep it when Kenny first went down. When Kenny first went down, they made sure Shedeur didn't get no first rep. Now that was the tone setter. I didn't realize that, and I tried to give it a little leeway, but Kevin ain't studying Shedeur right now. He's not studying Shedeur.
Why not let the kid cook? Because at this point, the hype isn't just outside the building. It's living rent-free inside it. Here's the catch. This ain't Colorado anymore, and it sure as hell ain't the Pac-12. This is the NFL, baby, where the hits sound like car crashes and the speed looks like a video game glitch. Shedeur ain't dancing past undersized college corners now. He's staring down men with mortgages, sore backs, and 40-yard dashes that break physics. These are defensive ends who sprint like Olympians and collide like refrigerators on wheels. The players feel that energy, though. They see the buzz, scroll through the hype, and start whispering that maybe, just maybe, this untested rookie is the magic bullet that'll save the season. Never mind that jumping from Saturdays in Boulder to Sundays in the league is like going from karaoke night to Madison Square Garden.
Usual play calling when Shedeur is playing. Then I'm thinking he has to get a chance to run this 2-minute drill. He has to get fair play calling, and they have to call plays correctly in this 2-minute drill. There's no way sabotage this 2-minute drill. Then boom, he snatched out of the game. What logical reason can Kevin Stefanski have for snatching Shedeur Sanders out of the game for the 2-minute drill to put a young man that they just signed from off the streets into the 2-minute drill that you 9 times out of 10 probably don't have any chance of him making the team? I was also waiting to see how Dylan Gabriel respond coming back from halftime, but he was snatched and Shedeur was put in with the bogus players.
The fairy tale's already written in their heads. Shedeur Sanders equals spark. Spark equals wins. Wins equals salvation. And that's where it gets wild. Shedeur hasn't even taken a real snap, but he's already splitting the locker room like it's an election year. Veterans are giving side-eye to the coaching staff, younger guys are quietly hyping him up, and suddenly, the Browns facility feels less like an NFL headquarters and more like a reality show with shoulder pads. You can practically picture the black and white confessionals, a defensive tackle shaking his head saying, "Man, leadership's slipping." A wide receiver muttering, "We need some excitement out there," and a lineman whispering, "Coach just doesn't get it." It's not even hate towards Stefanski. It's gravity. Hype's got a pull stronger than strategy, and nobody's immune. Instead of obsessing over playbooks and execution, the team's caught up in highlight fever. They're watching Shedeur's reels during breakfast, replaying them after practice, whispering about them mid-lift in the weight room.
That Kevin Stefanski is saying and the way he's going about things, some things are just not adding up. And Ryan Clark of ESPN basically exposed Kevin Stefanski this morning on Get Up. He had a very interesting take on Kevin Stefanski's motive. Also, this is all surrounded around naming Joe Flacco QB1 for opening day against Cincinnati. Well, that came to no surprise. Now the big question is,
and once that kind of energy starts spreading, it's over. Wildfire mode. No speech, no timeout, no motivational quote is stopping it. Logic might still live on Stefanski's clipboard, but in the hearts of his players, the hype already won. And let's get one thing straight. Shedeur Sanders ain't just hype, he's a full-blown marketing empire in cleats. He's got the swagger, he's got the Deion Sanders DNA, and he walks with that larger-than-life aura that somehow feels bigger than the Browns themselves, which, let's be honest, isn't exactly a tall order. This is the same franchise that's been the league's favorite punchline for decades. Cleveland once drafted Johnny Manziel like he was a red carpet celebrity instead of a quarterback, and then acted surprised when the whole thing crashed faster than a viral TikTok trend gone wrong. You'd think they'd learn, but here we are again, caught between patience and panic, image and instinct. Stefanski's trying to play it smart, refusing to toss a rookie into the fire just to feed the hype machine. But players don't see it that way, not when the losses pile up and frustration starts cooking. Players think simple, we're not winning enough, and there's a brand new sports car sitting on the sidelines while the team keeps driving the same old minivan. Eventually, someone's gonna ask the question, why not take it for a spin? And once that question hits the air inside a locker room, it spreads fast.
Fan, we clearly know what you did. We clearly know that the plays that you gave for Dylan Gabriel, throwing the check down underneath to make him look good. Same plays for Flacco. Then you throw Shedeur in the game with a tight end whose name ain't even on the roster, and some other players, and then you have them run long
real fast. Here's the thing about NFL locker rooms, they run on energy and belief as much as playbooks and stats. If enough players believe that one guy could be the spark, even if they're dead wrong, that belief alone can shift everything. Momentum, attitude, trust, it all starts to tilt. And right now, the Browns' energy feels split right down the middle. Half the room still trusts Stefanski's plan, the other half thinks he's gatekeeping a superstar. And when a coach starts losing that balance, it doesn't matter what the playbook says, the season starts to unravel from the inside out. Because Shedeur Sanders is the perfect storm for this kind of chaos. Young, confident, flashy, magnetic. He moves like a celebrity, talks like a leader, and shines just bright enough to make the rest of the locker room wonder if the future's already sitting on their bench. Veterans are torn right down the middle. Some are sick of the noise, rolling their eyes at the hype, while others are quietly thinking, wait, what if this kid's actually the missing piece? It's like being forced to pick between pineapple pizza and anchovies. No matter what you choose, someone's gonna yell.
Seen what's happened in practice, and we've seen what's happened in preseason. Now, all camp long, there's reports that was surfacing and people in the media talking about the treatment of Shedeur Sanders and also Dylan Gabriel. But we all know it was heavy against Shedeur Sanders, where there's reports out there that they wasn't giving him an opportunity, they wasn't giving him.
But here's the thing. This ain't the first time an NFL team's fallen headfirst into the rookie quarterback hype trap. Remember Tim Tebow with the Broncos? That locker room split in half, fans went ballistic, and before long, the coaches were twisting their playbooks to keep up with the noise. But Tebow had one thing Shedeur doesn't. That miracle playoff win. That game gave him instant credibility. Shedeur, he hasn't even thrown a preseason pass yet, but somehow his buzz is bigger. That's how magnetic this dude's energy is. He's a headline just by standing still. But let's not ignore Cleveland's track record. This team has chewed up quarterbacks like sunflower seeds at training camp. Seriously, the Browns have gone through more quarterbacks than some people go through phone chargers. The script never changes. A new savior walks in, the hype train starts blaring, and by Thanksgiving, everyone's arguing over who the next savior should be. It's quarterback roulette on repeat, and every spin ends with the same heartbreak. You can feel the players' frustration brewing. These are guys busting their bodies week after week, chasing any spark that could lead to wins. And there's Shedeur, the spark itself, just standing there with a clipboard watching. To them, it feels like wasted potential, but to Stefanski, it's discipline, patience, and control. Two realities, same building, completely different perspectives colliding like helmets in practice. And the funniest part? The Browns actually don't need more chaos right now. They're finally sitting in a decent spot trying to steady the ship.
Now, guys, if you really know what's going on in football in the quarterback position, sometimes teams don't carry 4 quarterbacks on the roster. So now you got the starting quarterback and you got the backup quarterback, and then the 3rd string and 4th string, they're probably demoted down to the practice squad or even let go. And also, 3rd and 4th string, they don't even dress. It's your backup quarterback that dresses and is on the sideline holding the clipboard, and the rest of them in street.
But the outside noise won't quit. Fans are already chanting Shedeur's name like he's the chosen one. Social media is flooded with flashy highlight edits, half of them probably made by teenagers who've never watched a full Browns game in their life. And the media, oh, they're feasting on it. Because nothing sells clicks, tweets, and hot takes faster than a full-blown quarterback controversy in Cleveland. Inside that locker room, the tension's thick enough to cut with a cleat. They're human. They hear it, they feel it, and after a while, they start believing it. That's how locker rooms shift and jobs get lost. Coaches can survive a few bad play calls, they can ride out ugly losses. But the second players stop believing in you, it's game over. And right now, Stefanski's walking that razor's edge, because even if he's making the right football move, perception is louder than reality. And the public perception that he's blocking the rise of Shedeur Sanders. So now the big question looms, what happens next? Does Stefanski cave to the hype and unleash the kid, or does he double down and risk losing his own locker room? Either way, he's trapped in a lose-lose. If he plays Shedeur too soon, he could break the kid before he's ready.
Stefanski's a hell of a coach. If Stefanski buys in, they buy in together, Stefanski can turn, he's a pocket passer. Stefanski does great with pocket passers. He had Flacco, he had Winston. Them are pocket passers. Watson's not a pocket passer. Stefanski was horrible with Watson. So with Shedeur, if Stefanski put the blinders on and just let the boy cook and be fair about it, it might.
If he waits too long, he could lose the team completely. It's like juggling knives blindfolded. Yeah, it looks impressive for a minute, but eventually, something sharp's gonna drop. And that's the curse of Cleveland, always teetering on the edge of competence before slipping on their own banana peel of chaos. Shedeur Sanders might be the future this franchise has been begging for, or he could be the next chapter in the Browns' never-ending quarterback heartbreak saga. Because one thing's certain, Cleveland doesn't just play football, they live drama. They turn every season into a soap opera, and this year's storyline is already set in stone. Shedeur Sanders versus Kevin Stefanski. One is the fresh face of hype and hope. The other is the steady hand trying to keep order in the storm. And stuck in between, a locker room split like a family feud. Whispers, loyalties, and eyes watching every move. However this unfolds, one thing's guaranteed. It's gonna be peak Browns. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share for more chaos, more drama, and more behind-the-scenes fire. And I'll see you on the next one.